Oh my God, I just love it. And it's got your adaptive.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So get close, look at that.
Similar to the Alpha.
I think these small features make a big difference. I'm here today with BavarianSimTec and a company that prides customer service, reliability, and performance above anything else. It's been going for 4 years now. We're going to have a look at some of the wheels. In fact, there's a gap here, so maybe we should go and try and get it. So let's be honest, there's a lot of competition in sim racing for wheels in this form factor.
Yes.
So what sets BavarianSimTec apart? I know that you are the person responsible really for these. Any small details, let us know.
So I think I'll first start off with the grips, because like the grips are the most important thing on a steering wheel. If the grips are bad, the wheel is bad. There's like no in between. And so we had now 2 wheels before that, the One and the Pro. And all the wheels you see on the Expo, they do the same mistake as we did before. So basically, when you design the grip, you design the tubes in CAD program, and then you design the thumb area, and usually you extrude, so you carve in the material 90 degrees onto the wheel. But that is wrong, because I tested a lot of grips for deep printing, and then I put my thumb on the grip, and I realized my thumb doesn't sit 90 degrees onto the wheel. It doesn't. It sits at an angle.
And that's where you get the pain there
exactly,
sometimes.
The thumb always sits at an angle. That's when we decided, okay, we don't need to cut it like this. We need to cut it like this at an angle. And it makes a difference.
That is nicer.
Yeah.
There is also something as well about wheel placement sometimes where I feel I might be doing this wrong, but I feel sometimes I put a slight downward pressure on the wheel. Is that normal? Because my arms are here, I don't know if I'm meant to be perfectly weightless, but sometimes I feel like I'm putting a slight downward pressure, and that's why often sometimes I feel a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, usually I don't think there should be downward pressure. maybe set up the wheel tilted a little bit more down. Some people have it tilted too far up, and then because your hand should just relax on the wheel, they shouldn't pull the wheel down or anything. Yeah.
It also feels like, I might be wrong, but these grips are a little bit chunkier than some other grippers.
Yeah, definitely.
Reason for that? What's the reason for that?
It's just more comfortable. That's the only explanation I gave. We tested through many iterations of the grips, and just came up with this is the perfect compromise, because of course we're not building the wheel for one person only. We're building the wheel for a variety of people with small hands, people with big hands. So we had to find a mix in between.
Yeah.
And I think even people with small hands are very comfy with the grips, but also people with very big hands are comfy with the grips.
So you spoke about compromise. So you're obviously thinking about this is going to be people of all different shapes and sizes.
Yes.
Do you think other brands, they think they have a particular person in mind maybe, and they're not because this is a bit chunkier, so I don't know.
I don't think so. I actually think with grips, the whole industry was in a little standstill over a long time, because I think Fanatec brought out the first design of grips for sim racing wheels. Other brands copied it, and nothing really evolved onto that. They always continued with the same. Like I told you, with the 90-degree cut, it always was the same.
You're thinking Fanatec, McLaren, GT3, sort of like that lineage, and then all of those GT3s.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then just a couple more points from the grips. I see some chamfering here.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of this chamfering?
So basically, design. For me, design is also a very important aspect of the wheel. And as you know, many wheels, the grips are injected onto our frame. And then you have this, for my taste, a little bit ugly cutoffs on the grips. And the grips just feel mounted onto the wheel. For me, it is always important to have this, the grips go directly onto the wheel. It just gives the wheel a more
So it's an integrated grip.
Exactly, it just feels more like a wheel instead of a plate with a rear housing. Yeah.
So that's really interesting to hear your philosophy and sort of the time that goes into thinking about these bits. It would be great now to understand, because I think BavarianSimTec have quite a long-term view on sim racing, relatively new company, obviously, but long-term view. So what's the product portfolio? I see this says Alpha.
Yes.
So are you going for Greek lettering? Do you have Alpha, Delta, or what else?
Yeah, currently we are doing Greek lettering, actually with the Omega, our first wheel. We were sitting down a long time and had all kind of names floating around, P1, whatever. And we were no, that's not it.
Yeah.
And then we were looking around and we were oh, the Omega sign looks
Your
really
background
cool.
is maths, right?
Yeah, I studied computer science with heavily focus on mathematics.
So you see alpha and delta, all that is that a little
Yeah,
bit of that
usually
lineage.
like a gamma and the other. Yeah.
So this is the alpha. What's the price range for this? What's the customer who might be interested in something like that?
Yeah, so the Alpha, sadly, I currently only know the prices with German VAT included. So that's 19%. It starts at 950 euros.
Including VAT.
Including VAT.
Yeah.
So without VAT, obviously a little bit less. That is with this is the standard version with only shifter pedals.
Yeah.
And then we have the advanced version, which goes up to 1099.
With clutches.
And that has dual clutch and full pedals above. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
And then probably we can jump in like the most interesting feature on the Alpha is our adaptive beam tech feature.
Yeah.
There are 13 individual
Whoa.
LEDs around each
Hang on, let me have a
encoder.
look at that. I'm a bit stupid, right? So I'm a bit stupid.
Yeah.
So you were like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when I have rotaries, that's 1, 2, I
Yeah.
would forget, like, but here to be like, I will look at it and like, I'm on TC. And then I guess this, you can modify like what stuff does, I imagine, the things like.
Yeah, so these stay the same because these are meant to be used for ABS and TC. And they also show you the ABS and TC settings which are available on each
Yeah.
car. The bottom multi-selector, you can use it in the following way. If you just turn the mode, you switch the mode. And if you push it in and twist it, you actually change the value of the mode.
I got it.
But you can even go a step further and link it with this encoder. So let's say you're on dash, you can change your dash now.
Yeah.
You go to fuel, now you can change your fuel.
And you got brightness. Is that volume intended for the sim as well, or is that a volume?
Well, yeah, you can, for example, map your simulator volume or your Windows volume, like your system volume. You can map everything. For example, also we have brightness here. Don't think it works because I got now 10 wheels running on one laptop. It's already it's really crowded. But you can also control the brightness of the wheel on the fly.
So this would be really interesting to understand from you, because as the market gets more competitive, we're seeing brands try and differentiate in different ways. Some brands are trying to say this is as authentic to the real car as possible. For example, no funky switches. And some brands are trying to say we're going to make it more sim racing. For me, if I hear the doorbell go or something, or someone's calling me, I can flick to volume.
Yes.
And say, hey, what's going on? Or brightness. And that's a pure sim racing feature.
Yes.
Some brands wouldn't want to do that because they would say that's not realistic. What's your view on that sort of difference?
It's always trying to find the compromise, because I really want my wheels to look like they could be in a real race car. That's, I think, something super important, because that's what they don't want a toy. People want something which really could be in a real race car. But of course, you also need, we are not driving in a real race car. There are some things we don't need. And for example, funkies are essential in most sims because...
Wipers. Oh,
Pardon?
what did you say, brightness or?
No, funkies. Because we are not only the driver. Like the driver in a real race car, he has this whole team in the background, like engineers who control the tires, set it up. We don't. We are drivers and race engineers. And we need the funky to control our menus for that.
Okay, that's interesting. Personally, I like it. I like how, I don't know again if this was a design choice, but these all being black fades away. So also these elements that are maybe more sim, that sort of fades away, and then what you see stylistically is the stuff that you would see in a real car.
Yeah.
Do you have any other BavarianSimTec products here we should take a look at in this video, or?
We have a bunch of products we launched. This is actually we launched 2 months ago, and all the other products we launched on the expo, so they're brand new.
Should we have a look quickly? We can
Absolutely.
rock and go. Oh wow! Whoa!
I would say let's go to the front. It's like has the best lighting, you know.
Wow! You must feel so proud when you see the light. I think there's a growing these should be in museums, not museums because they're old, but these are pieces of design and function together.
Yeah, definitely. Like nowadays, you can't just have a perfect functioning wheel. It also needs to look good. Like for many people, it's a piece of art, and a lot of people have many wheels.
Yeah.
And when they don't use it, they want to put it on a shelf.
Yes.
It also has to look nice.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting thing to say, that all these wheels are quick releases, you're going to be quick releasing, and then now when your friends come around, and also as you upgrade your equipment, yes, there's a used market, but also some people might want to say that's the wheel I used for that period of time in my life. So let's talk a little bit about this beast. So this is the Omega, right?
And that's the Omega Pro
V2.
V2, exactly.
So is that the second version? Anything you learned from the first version that's changed?
So the identity stayed the same, the design stayed the same, but of course it is improved in every way. Starting off with a full aluminum CNC'd back shell and front shell.
Yeah.
We have carbon also implemented into the front shell. The display is now surrounded by a Gorilla Glass cover with tempered LEDs, so they don't blind you or anything. Like they're just have the perfect brightness.
Yeah.
And probably visually the most appealing, which changed to the old, is the bottom section.
Oh my god, I just love it, and it's got your adaptive.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Similar,
Get close, look at that.
Similar to the Alpha.
I think these small features make a big difference when you're spending this amount of money, serious money.
And of course you can change the lights as you want, You're not fixed to this lighting scheme. Like we have a red one on the wall. You can do pretty much everything. Even the encoders are illuminated, so the text you can change the color.
Yeah. So I don't know, speaking with someone like you who's a designer, a top level designer, I've always wondered, when we were kids in cars, we were in the back seat of cars, and the blue and the red glow of the air conditioning or the fans and the radio, are those subconscious cues that you have when you're thinking about someone's going to be sat in the rig and how it glows at you? And it's not blinding, because obviously you're thinking about tempering this. You want it to be, I don't know what the word is, but you want to sort of almost bathe in that light. And yes, it has to be clear so you can see, but you don't want it to be abrasive. I don't know what you.
Yeah, it was a big challenge to get all of this right, because finding the correct suppliers to supply you with perfect quality all the time, and to find this matte diffusion film, which is actually doing all of this, diffusing the light. It was really a big task, because usually on other wheels you can also find that you have very big hotspots. And then, of course, that is way brighter than the outside. And of course, then to have everything evenly illuminated, you need to up the brightness way more, and then the wheel starts to blind you. So, yeah.
Do you have a sort of party mode where they can go around and cycle?
Everything, yeah. We work together with Daniel Human Racing. He's doing super fancy LED profiles, and you can have everything. The whole wheel can flash at you. Yeah,
because I have a wheel on my rig at the moment with the lights, and I just like leaving it on. I like leaving it on, and it's on the fancy mode. And even if I'm doing something else, it's just there. And even now, when I have it on the wall, I leave it plugged into the USB. So.
Yeah, but what we also have as one of the only third-party wheel manufacturers is we have a startup animation. So the wheel
startup animations here and
like most other wheels, when you plug them in, they just stay off. And ours turns to life. And in our software, you can decide even what colors you want the animation to be in, and you can also decide when it should turn off. Because if you put your wheel on the rig just to be there, but you forget to turn it off, and it would be on the whole night, it would take the life expectancy of the wheel, so it will automatically shut off.
Well, I feel like we've taken so much of your time, but I feel like I understand now the quality of the products, customer service, the small details you're thinking about. I understand some very high-end iRacers are using this equipment, and I can see why, because this has I think it may have a slight performance, maybe not on the edge, but a consistency when you're changing your brake bias frequently and stuff like that. So anything else you want to say about BavarianSimTec to probably a lot of viewers who haven't heard of BavarianSimTec before, but now might be like, whoa, hang on, I want to look more about this.
What can I say? Everything I say sounds super biased. I can just say I'm doing this with full passion. I started also sim racing with first with a Thrustmaster without force feedback.
T80?
No. It was the Ferrari 458 replica. Drove first arcade games, Test Drive Unlimited, and then switched to the F1 games, and then quickly switched to iRacing because I just wanted more and more and more. And I'm I like to play competitive games. but I just do it with like a lot of passions. I think through every detail. At night when I sleep, I like suddenly wake up and I have an idea, and then I need to instantly go to the computer and dial it in. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say.
Amazing. Thank you so much for showing us the wheels with the adaptive BeanTech.
Course.
Hopefully going to look at these more on the channel and let you know more about them. Let us know any questions you've got as well for BavarianSimTec and we'll
Yeah,
pass them
please.
on. And we'll see you next time.